dear friends and colleagues. Sometimes when we look at social media, we seem to find that actually every day more and more often, pictures and posts from conference interpreters that are talking about their work, what they do, where they do it, with whom they are working. And some of that is concerning because it brings into the equation issues such as confidentiality, client trust, conflict of interest, and so forth. I could clearly distinguish several groups. First of all, those people that are posting pictures of themselves in the booth or next to a booth and giving themselves kudos, saying how great they are and showing off the booth. Well, obviously those are people who have never worked in a booth before. This is the first time and they are bragging about it. They don't understand that this is not very good for those who are watching what they do, because it looks immediately that they are not experienced, and that sets them back as far as the market. But also it's not good because a lot of times they don't know better or they are careless, and they show you who the client is, where the venue is, what the subject matter is, and all those things, most certainly without the approval of the client and those other interested parties they are showing. That is clearly an ethical violation, and perhaps even with some legal ramifications on top of closing the opportunities in the market for themselves. There's a second group. These are very experienced colleagues who do this for advertisement purposes. They have a commercial end in mind, and they are very careful about what they post. And sure, they post pictures of themselves in action, but they are very careful not to ever mention the client, the event, the place, the subject matter, and then not to show people or likeness of people on the screen or PowerPoint presentations and other work product without first obtaining consent from their client. This is a group that really does not concern me that much. It's just a matter of taste as to whether or not you think that's a good and effective tool for advertisement. Obviously, it works for so many of them. Some of them might not find it that appropriate. And then there's a third group, which is the twilight zone. That's the gray zone of all these groups. These are interpreters, some of them very experienced, who are posting some of these pictures and texts of them in action, mentioning certain things that could compromise their work and their reputation. Because sometimes inadvertently and sometimes as a secondary effect, you can tell where they are working, what they are working on, who their client is, subject matters, and things like that, even though that was not intended. In this case, I think we have to be very careful because we cannot be violating our code of ethics and in some cases also the legal norms. So it is very careful what we have to do here. We have to have a very good attitude, and we have to really think long and hard as to whether or not it's worthy of our effort to be posting all these things online. Of course, there's a group here that is undisputably correct to do it, because this is the group that works especially in the media, where it's not just that you are posting, it's that you are required by the client to post certain things because you are helping them promote the event. I have no problem with that. The client knows what it is about. The client is encouraging the interpreter to do it, and everybody involved knows that they are going to be on social media and perhaps in some other electronic means of communication. My problem is when people do this inadvertently without knowing better, and these are experienced interpreters who are now just giving in to this new tendency, and they perhaps are concerned because they see the newbies posting left and right, and they think that they are staying behind if they don't. To me, the question is always going back to ethics. It's always going back to what is the best in the best interest of your client, not of you, and when we have to observe and respect intellectual property, privacy, and other concerns such as these ones, especially in this era where a lot of these things do not get respected. So my suggestion to you is, please, if you don't have to, don't post this. Post other things. Post pictures of you in the booth in a way that doesn't disclose where you are when you are writing about something else that is interpreting or language related, but it's not about an event. It's not about pat on the back because I did a great job or anything like that. And think about it long and hard if you're going to post anything that is going to give a hint or reveal what kind of assignment are you doing. And if you do so, please make sure that you do it with the consent of your client and of everybody else's whose names or likeness you're showing on the screen. Always, always, always ethics, privacy, confidentiality, and the best interest of the client in front of everything else. At least that is my opinion. Thank you very much.